welcome back to segment 3 of the Sports Circus. Now remember, you can catch us daily, whether you're in Los Angeles, or Las Vegas, or Honolulu, on NBC, on SB Nation, on Time Warner Cable. We're all over the place. Check us out at thesportcircus.com, and you could get all of our links to listen live. You can check out our podcast page, and you can also go to Twitter and follow us at The Sports Circus, or follow me, Sal Circus, at Sal Circus. Or you can follow Lenny and our Sports Circus page on Facebook under Lenny Adkins. And we also have, believe it or not, yet another one. We actually have the official Sports Circus page too. So we're all over the place. Google us. The Sports Circus should come right up on top on your Google search. So this segment is brought to you by the Social Register of Las Vegas, the only private business networking organization in Las Vegas, bringing decision makers together for over 23 years. Give them a call at 702-256-0123 or visit them online at socialregister.com. Lenny, we had something really cool happen in baseball yesterday. Why don't you tell everybody what happened?
Ladies and gentlemen, at the grand old game, we had something that was an anomaly, a rarity in sports. The 1, 2, 3 outs in one play, the triple play. The triple play rarely happens. That is such a rarity to see. You can see that sometimes, Sal, in those little league games where the kids are throwing it all over the place and they tag somebody and a kid's caught sleeping. But you have to have such precision, quickness, and accuracy in the big show with professional guys that are on their game to pull off the triple play.
Right. The speed of the game makes the triple play nearly impossible. In fact, the odds to see a triple play are 325 to 1. You go to 325 games and you'll see one triple play. That's crazy. And
that's nuts.
Oh, it's nuts. Because if you want to see an unassisted triple play, because those happen as well, the odds are 1 in 13,453. That's crazy. I mean, you can go a lifetime and not see an unassisted triple play live.
The only time that I had actually witnessed a triple play is with the Angels. A ball ended up getting hit out to right field. The right fielder got it off of a dive. He ended up getting up, threw the thing to first base, and then the schnuck from third base was trying to be sneaky, and he was trying to tag up at third and go home, and he ended up getting thrown out to Parrish. So Lance Parrish tagged him out. So that was back in about maybe the late 80s, early 90s. So you can tell that's a long time. But to witness something like that in person, very, very rare.
I was actually on the field. I was the pitcher for a team that turned a triple play back in, we'll call it yesteryear. But it was around the horn, just like we saw yesterday, 5-4-3. And it got me out of a jam. I was very excited. I've actually been on the field for a triple play and a part of a no-hitter. And now, by the way, the odds of actually seeing a no-hitter are 1 in 806 games. Believe that. It gets worse. The odds to see a perfect game are 1 in 10,287. That's nuts.
Well, there hasn't been that many of those, but I will tell you a quick story. The day before my anniversary, 1997, I ended up taking my old lady to Candlestick. Never been to Candlestick Park.
Now, I wonder if your old lady is watching this. You sure you want to call her old lady?
Most likely she is.
Perfect.
Hey, honey.
Right.
So I'm with her.
Better bring some flowers home.
We go up to the second row by first base, and there's these old men that are smoking stogies in Old Candlestick. They can smoke back then in the park, and they ended up two pitchers. It was Van Landingham and it was Kevin Brown of the Marlins. They're both pitching a no-no into the 7th inning. Finally, my beautiful bride Kim comes up and says, "Oh my gosh, Len, this is a boring game. I mean, nobody's even gotten a hit." Oh, the old men in the back were like, "Hey, what are you doing over here, lady? Don't you know you don't say anything about a no-hitter? Well, you teach your wife something, kid. What about baseball etiquette? Don't you know anything?" And I was like, yeah. I mean, they were on her terribly. So I said, "Honey, yeah, this is what you don't say anything from this point. Just ignore it." Finally, Marlins ended up getting some runs, and Kevin Brown threw that no-hitter. And I'm going to tell you something. The last batter those fans, Sal, it was a day game. They were going crazy to get a hit. When they didn't get a hit, in the last batter, I'll never forget, he went and hit a ball to the shortstop. It's thrown over. The game is over, and all the fans stood up in respect of a no-hitter and were applauding Kevin Brown and the Marlins for doing such a feat.
Yeah, the funny thing is where you could actually be in the visiting park, the fans are going crazy for a hit, and then when the guy gets an out, the fans are still going crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It was the only time that I ever remember fans just being so on edge was when I went to the Angels and the Yankees, that playoff series in 2002, when they ended up beating them in that final game. Todd Green had a great game, pulled one out of his shorts. But anyway, having that type of environment, those fans just being so rabid, I mean, they were just wanting so much for there to be a hit. Not in our ballpark. You're not going to get a no-hitter in our ballpark. I couldn't even hear anything between me and my wife and the three ugly goons behind me. Couldn't hear a thing. It was so loud.
Well, remember, it's 1 in 806 games, so maybe this was their 806th game. And everybody came 806 times in a row, and this was it. That's why they were going bananas. I don't know. But the odds are so long for anybody to see a no-hitter. I've from the seats, I've never seen one. I've been on the field for one, but I would imagine as a fan, I would be going berserk too. I love the 1-0 games. Of course, as a pitcher, I'm going to love those. But now on the other side of the coin, you realize that it's really hard to get 4 hits in a game, let alone 5 hits in a game. But the rare feat of 6 hits in a 9-inning game, it happens once every 2,610 games. I've never seen 6 hits in 9 innings. I've never seen that. Have you?
That's very rare. The only one that I ever seen get 5 hits in a regulation game was Rodney Cline Carew. It's the only guy that I'd ever seen get 5 hits in a game. He was playing for the Twins. Obviously, he was a batting champion. But yeah, 6 hits in a game is ridiculous. How about? And I don't know the as far as the odds on this, but there have been some guys within the last, say, 2 decades that have hit a grand slam, 2 of them in the same inning.
Right. You know who did that was Robin Ventura did that for the White Sox. He did that, but to see somebody hit for the cycle, which is, again, it's really, really rare to see it. 1 in 702 games. Now, a home run cycle, the grand slam, the 3-run homer, 2-run homer, and solo shot, I have no clue what that one is. But I was busy looking up all these stats because, I look at this from a pitching standpoint, and I also look at it from a fan standpoint. What are the odds of seeing these ridiculous things? And now being on the hill versus being in the seats, I mean, let's face it, you're rooting for mayhem or perfection. You don't want a humdrum game. You want your money's worth. If you've got kids with you, the kids want to catch a foul ball, a home run ball. You know all about that one. 1 minute. There's the sign.
There's the sign. All right. Now we're almost to this.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. As far as rarities and all that, the only other rarity that I had seen live is I'd seen Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford, when he was with the Portland Trail Blazers, he ended up having a 5-point play. He ended up hitting a 3-point shot. He got fouled, and then they had a technical foul on top of it. So he ended up getting 2 free throws. And the only one who had bigger than that was Isaiah Thomas. He had a 6-point play in a playoff game.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't even imagine seeing that. I mean, it's hard enough to get to a 4-point play, let alone beyond that. So anyway, in the next segment, we're going to finish up. We're going to probably talk a little bit more basketball. We're going to revisit that. And I think we're going to get a little bit on the Clippers and Spurs. I know you want to talk about Chris Paul. So we'll go ahead and touch on that in the next segment. Be back in a couple of minutes here on the Sports Circus.